Instant dive, as was christened by Team UK, Vlandimals themselves. For now, though, looks like it's going to be pretty standard fare coming out from both of our teams. 3-3 with a Zenyatta, and of course for Reinhardt up at the front. The head of the Phalanx Jaws going to be holding up that shield, protecting his team from any incoming damage. Going to be an up-high fire strike there from OWC.
Yeah, a little bit ambitious, didn't actually cap that Ascov, but he's going to get sent extremely low already. Tri-Spear taking the head off of OWC. Zeal is going to get traded, although main tank for Brigitte. I'll take that trade any day if I was Eternal Academy right now.
Kenzie under pressure, has to use that bubble to keep himself safe. Superfluke not going to be getting that though.
Amir was actually behind him the whole time. Superfluke overextending in that instance, and now it's a bit more even. We're going to have Lostage coming back to the fight rather shortly. Superfluke's going to have to go for the big respawn, so Eternal Academy now on the back foot. Going to have to walk back to their own spawn and just go again. 80, cap the point.
Yeah, Kenzie wasn't forward enough there to really leverage the fact that Lostage's shield wasn't going to be a large factor in mitigating damage, so couldn't lay down that beam damage. Instead, he decided to use as many mortars as possible. Already, Lostage falling low, though. So much pressure here, Jaws.
Yeah, Ascov just booping him in. Should be okay for the time being, though. To receive the armor pack, giving him some extra HP. There's another one to top his health bar off, but Superfluke 10% away from the Earth Shatter. Lulz just a little bit further behind. Of course, did fall first, remember.
Got to watch out for incoming attacks onto Lulz. Already been given protected barrier.
Oh, so close. Only just managed to survive as that Transcendence did go off. Shadow's going to hit the ground as well, but can they do anything? Graviton Surge thrown out as well by AT. Bob's going to land on top if they're not careful. They're all so low already. Now all the AFOX and Spectral need to do is just cleave through the rest of Eternal. Angry Titans are also going to lay down the sound barrier to make sure they can secure the fight. And they do just that. 50% now on the board. Emil there not opting to use his own self-destruct, so we can use that in a more vanilla sense now towards trying to get some pickoffs maybe onto a less mobile Tri-Spear, especially considering that Tri-Spear cannot save himself with a Transcendence, will not have that available. Ascov can of course give everyone overshields up to 750 available when used straight away, but those do decay over time. There is it going to be opening. Yep, no support also already counter from AT. We've got a couple building up. Superfluke now with the Shatter. Self-destruct is going to get launched into the background. Zeal isn't going to go down just yet, but that Shatter to stop Lulz swinging into that Graviton Surge was good enough. Superfluke ends up finding the kill onto Lulz and Eternal Academy are now grasping back at control, but 82%, maybe going on to almost 90 here. If they can't quickly clean off Fat, is going to be in the bank for AT. Great defensive shadow there from Superfluke. Everyone was caught in Spectral's grab, but he laid them down on the floor, so there was no attempt to follow up for Angry Titans. Instead, they were just rubbing their heads, getting up off the floor. What happened? I fell asleep. Fortunately, they were blown away by Eternal Academy, who now have their first capture, of course, of the round. Going to slowly start getting that percentage. There is time if it flips over for another contest. Angry Titans, of course, are going to want to try and build up an ultimate bank and take this point back. Very dangerous position. Angry Titans could go for a little bit more of an eco push, but they decide not to as they use that rally. Chow falling low. In fact, everyone from Eternal Academy right now going extraordinarily low. Graviton Surge thrown in, as well as a pin by Superfluke to take Urki out of the fight. Does mean losing two supports fairly early on, or two people I should say. Angry Titans are going to want to have to go again, but it did give Eternal Academy some extra time there to build up another couple of support ults, plus that all-important Shatter from Superfluke. Speaking about Shatter, it's going to mean that Lulz, she's going to have to play rather sheepish. She's going to have to hang back a little bit, be cautious. Doesn't want to reveal his team to a potential for a stun coming through from Superfluke, but maybe we'll see Zeal go on some kind of cheeky flank to try and outmaneuver Lulz, deliver that shield bash from behind and facilitate one of those bash Shatter combos which Superfluke used to be so famous for on Eagle Gaming, was often the death of Angry Titans in that finals matchup. Yeah, Lulz will know all about that one. Getting taken, not even all the way. It did go to 5 games in the end. Self-destruct goes up. Beat's going to come through from both sides, and Graviton Surge locked him to the wall. Delayed Shatter from Superfluke as he manages to get outside the grab for just a moment. As Emil self-destruct does end up finding the kill. Angry Titans now resuming control. Eternal Academy have got at least one more fight though, 10%. Someone's going to have to be quick, get back to the point though. Chow gets booped off. Even more ultimate charge now for Fat in the bank. Great double boop there. There is an Earth Shatter right by their spawn Jaws. Yeah, not going to happen. Lulz does end up going down, but can they do anything? Graviton Surge does lock them in place, but someone needs to touch from Eternal Academy. Someone's managing to find some capture percentage as Emil goes down as well. Perfect early grab from Kenzie there to lock many people from AT and stop them from recontesting instantly. AFOX has remained alive, and now Zeal will lead the charge. He for once will be the shield in the front as Lulz tries his best to defend the Titans. But there's no ults. Spectral has like 5% away from the Graviton Surge being online, and Superfluke is already dead. Zeal now has to try to clutch this fight out. He can't act as a main tank, but he's the only shield that his support's going to hide behind. Graviton Surge from the back line. Spectral lands it hole in one. Eternal Academy end up getting White. AT are going to secure University. Well, Superluke's going to get back a solo shatter on the ball.
Won't even
but
land.
it's all going to be enough. Eternal Academy and the forfeit University. It's AT. Find the first map win.
Superluke there acting like a golf ball when I try and get that short putt into the hole. Just will
He
not
almost
go
got
down.
it.
Actually managed to avoid the shadow from being on the other side of that hole. Obviously, across empty space, the Earth Shadow does not carry forth. And we saw quite a bit of mix-up of tempo there from Angry Titans. For a second, we saw that they were in a winning position. They chased all the way out to spawn, and Lolsish laid down a shadow right at the enemy spawn, hoping to catch a few people off guard, and that they did. But Angry Titans being so sort of sporadic in their positioning there, because they didn't want to allow a capture in the back from Ascoft on that Lucio, did mean that a couple of pickoffs came through from Eternal Academy, who managed to gather the forces to counterattack. They also played really well using Zeal, sort of that rotating front line. It's a 500 HP shield, but you can get behind it rather easily and allow your Brigida to claim space like a Reinhardt match. Doesn't like Eternal Academy, Jaws. Oh, things are about to get interesting. Are we going to finally see the Spectral Tracer? It's been so long and I've missed it so much.
Eternal Academy.
See ya.
Going to get jumped on instantly. Uh-oh. Yeah. Kenzie actually got hacked as well, so couldn't actually use the coach gun. So unfortunate. That does end up going down as well. So they do trade 1-for-1 as they do make their way back to the point, of course. Eternal Academy making a couple of swap-ups. Instant 3-3. Tri-Spear staying on the Zenyatta, though, not switching over to the Moira.
Spectral now going to have to be very careful. Does have to watch out for that shield bash. Urki from the back going for a hack, but will not complete it instead. Use that SMG, put up a little bit of a charge towards that EMP as Angry Titans here. They don't want to take the direct engagement. They can't compete with the death ball. There's going to be a little bit of cleave coming in, though.
Got to focus those mobile supports. That's exactly what happened as Emil dove on Tri-Spear. Again, they do trade as Fat ends up going down, but Emil is going to get chased out by Ascoff. No thrusters left, got booped into the water. Angry Titans now having to run away. You have to invest so much when you're going up against 3-3 if you don't have the same composition. You're investing what, a Coalescence, maybe an EMP to try and find something, because a vanilla comp like 2-2-2 isn't really going to be able to roll over the sheer pressure that a 3-3 can exert.
And Fat dying there to the charge being caught out was the worst possible thing. That meant that Ascoff could just run the meatball of the 3-3 into Angry Titans and they couldn't disengage. And you need to be able to kite back when you've got so many squishy players right there. Going to be going straight forward though, Coalescence in hand.
Yeah, they built up that fairly fast. That Coalescence going straight through the shield of Superluke. Thank you very much. And healing the rest of the team too. Healing advantage for Angry Titans. They do have the Moira over the Zenyatta, but Zenyatta's going to win out in the war of attrition. We'll see if Apox wants to return as the Zen in a second. The rest of Eternal Academy are cleaned up eventually. Apox got nearly 50% though, but he could be changing over momentarily. Tri-Spear is going to have Transcendence advantage going into the next fight.
And Afox doing a good job there of exploiting the value of the Coalescence by pushing it through the shield of Superluke, when often you consider yourself to be safe from the machinations of a flex support like Zenyatta, who lays down the damage but cannot penetrate the shield with his orbs. Well, Afox will now be playing on that. Tri-Spear is going to have a significant advantage when it comes to using that Transcendence. Going to be an aggressive play here from Lolsish.
He's got the Shadow. He does get instantly stunned there, but had about 1,000 HP, so he was going to survive any incoming damage from AT. Lolsish goes extremely low, puts down the shield, and Superluke puts down the hammer. Eternal Academy find 3 to the ground and are able to clean a couple up. The rest of AT are going to go all the way back to spawn, as Eternal Academy are going to still sit pretty on ultimates, because Afox changed so late, Harry. He's 40% behind Transcendence of Tri-Spear right now, who has one in play. 42% now for Eternal.
Tri-Spear holding on to that Transcendence, though, does mean that Afox is getting a chance to catch up and try and build up that old economy and try and disregard the fact that he played on the Moira for so long. Lolsish going to have a huge advantage, of course, on the Earth Shadow, but Superluke's building it up as well. Hitting a meaty fire strike there gave him quite a bit of charge to play with. And now Lolsish going to bring everyone forward, stay behind that shield.
Graviton Surge on the pillar. Pretty hard to get a Transcendence off in that situation, but a Self-Destruct is also used to clear out Angry Titans. A beat to re-engage for AT as Graviton Surge comes out from Eternal Academy this time. Lolsish caught in no man's land, gets instantly shattered as well as Urki, but they can't quite finish the kill. A Transcendence comes in from Afox to save the rest of the team. Angry Titans pouncing back onto Eternal Academy. Chao's mech is now down, and they are gaining capture percentage, Harry. Only just now are Eternal Academy being able to retouch, but Superluke and Ascoff overstepped, and they end up going down. AT are going to reclaim the point, but not before. Eternal Academy gets 85%.
And Spectral got so much cleanup there as well, Jaws. Look, he's already 3/4 of the way towards that next Graviton Surge. He opened up a previous fight with that ultimate as well. The only major advantage here for Eternal Academy will be Zeal ready with that rally. He can, of course, outplay Urki here, who has previously used his. Angry Titans, their armor will not last for long. 30 seconds and it's going to start dissipating. That's exactly what's going to happen right now. And there's the advantage from Zeal.
Spectral has grab, throws it straight in. Can they get any extra damage on? A nice pin onto Superfluke, but he receives a shield instantly. And a Transcendence from Tri-Spear as well to make sure they survive the oncoming damage. A pin into the wall signals Urki's demise, but Superfluke also goes down. A very bad trade for AT though as they again lose fat. Eternal Academy now a 1 fight away from bringing this to a 3-map series in Oasis.
Superfluke can't be allowed to get these pins on the squishy targets in the first fight. It was Askov to miss an early grab, Jaws.
Beautiful early grab off of the point. Loltish and Spectral already dead. What are you going to do now? You're running into a full 3-3 team. Emil's going to try stall from additional time, but it's dominoes really. You just knock them over one by one by one, and they all end up toppling. Eternal Academy are going to be able to claim Gardens, and we'll be going over to City Centre next.
It all falls down, but everyone will rise back up again for our third and final stage of Oasis, going over to the City Centre where the jump pads are powerful and the cars even more so.
It's true. Batiste, though, you can survive those cars.
You can.
Finally.
You can use them as a mobility cooldown, actually.
Finally.
Can we turn invincibility into a mobility cooldown? You can on Oasis.
Yes, we can. This one map in that very specific situation. It's probably going to be a clip somewhere. Someone's jumping rollouts. Oh, yeah.
That's a great Reddit, I imagine.
That'll be... Well, you'd also get instantly hit by the car, right? You take all the damage apart from that small bit of invulnerability at the end, and, you know, you're not going to be in a good situation, let's be fair.
Yeah, just have to rely on that Batiste healing. But right now, Eternal Academy will be relying on Mercy healing. 4 DPS are available for them right now. All of them going to be coming out with those blasters, laying down quite a bit of hit scan damage as well as the meaty attempts.
Superfluke rolls straight in the middle of AT. Grease them a hefty hello. Almost goes down for it too.
Emil's hacked.
He's extremely low. Emil is going to get hacked up. Kenzie farming half a pulse bomb already. We'll see if AT want to switch here. Points going to unlock in a couple of seconds. Do they want to run the 3-3 into against quad DPS?
They'll likely want to swap AFOX over onto that Moira at some point, but for now they're just going to try and move on to a point and contest here. The AFOX already down.
He's been picked off. Tri-Spear on the high ground. Going to send those missiles straight and reeling towards AFOX. AT are going to cower now in this small alcove so they don't receive any damage from Zeal, but Tri-Spear is also going to be able to fire in.
Zeal's ult.
Both from splash damage from the rockets and from Farah herself doing all too much damage. A barrage is going to get sent straight on the back line of Angry Titans. Zeal finds 2. The rest of AT are going to get cleared up.
There are just so many angles to try and play with here, Jaws. Like I said, AFOX is going to move over to Moira. It's a little bit too little, too late, though. Angry Titans will get cleared up here. Eternal Academy will claim the first capture. And look, they've got so many ultimates ready to go. Basically 5 in the bank right now. Zeal just got himself barraged so fast. And when we think about great Farahs, I don't want to brag, but a lot of them are from the UK. Zeal is from the UK, Jealous is from the UK,
yeah.
Kib's from the UK.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, if you've been watching North American over Contenders Trials as well, FaZe from the UK, formerly of Team Triumph. But Zeal right now putting on a masterclass when it comes to hitting these directs. A lot of meaty targets for him to try and play with.
Nice it be, actually splitting AT. 5 members have been hacked. Fat was the only one that managed to scurry for cover. Can they leverage this on anything? No kills have come through just yet. It just delayed Angry Titans from getting on the point. Askov using that ult, so now he can heal everybody in a small radius around him and fry freely also. Angry Titans are going to be able to get a little capture percentage, and Chow gets caught out by Spectral, who's actually jumped over to the McCree instead.
Flashbang and a headshot will put an end to the life of the hacker, but here is the Tactical Advisor combined against the Coalescence.
Into the Coalescence though, Tri-Spear is going to have to back off rather sharpish. Going to have to play sheepish around this corner now as Superfluke also ends up going down. What's the best way to stop a mobile comms Harry? A flashbang, a stun. It's exactly what Angry Titans have right now, and they can check Zeal in the air with the Spectral McCree. 3 supports will keep the McCree alive for quite a while, especially if he gets that repair pack. 75 extra armor can keep you alive for quite a while, especially, of course, if you need the protection to make a Deadeye have some value, because you need some time to lock on, and of course he can go through Superfluke's shield potentially if he can build up enough of those happy little green skulls that will appear. There's a nice little headshot there. Ouch. Putting Chow on notice. Emil might actually get a lot of damage onto a shield 2 with a self-destruct and potentially give Spectral a chance to go for that Deadeye. Oh, look, they're beelining straight for Spectral right now. He's going to use the Deadeye. He's okay. They're fine. Kenzie almost went down, but Chow is actually going to get demeched. We're spotted on the other side of the map, and now he's a baby diva. Ever so close to going down, but Kenzie, after this, actually gets jumped on by Lolsish. And now is the slow domino collapse of Eternal Academy. Superblick is also going to fall. There's not too much you can really do against Spectral, who has basically free reign over everybody in the front line because no one can actually touch him.
And the second that Chow goes down, you can get so aggressive as Lawless, because one of the main things, Jules, that you're going to fear as that Winston is the constant shotgun pellet damage coming in from a D.Va, doesn't have to reload, does a huge amount of damage. You've got a big head hitbox in front of her as well. Speaking of big head hitboxes, doesn't matter what size they are, Spectral's going to dink on them anyway. 83% of the way towards that Deadeye. We can see a repeat of things here. Like I said, Emil can always pressure that shield, do 1,000 damage to it with the self-destruct. Right now, he's going to play up on top of the pavilion, trying to pressure out Superblick so that he cannot shield that much. Here we go.
Okay, Deadeye's been used, and he does manage to get Tri-Spear. I think he actually peeked through the center there. Not too good if you're the Zen. 200 HP, that Deadeye's going to build up so quickly. And now, 90% on the board for AT. Eternal Academy haven't really had an ear in. They can't lay down the shadow. They haven't got grab online. They've got no real ults to work with. And Angry Titans still have the beat if they really need to use it.
Yeah, they have control of the laws being laid down by Spectral. Everyone's just going to cower behind the pavilion for now as people decide to figure out what moves they're going to make. It's going to be Graviton Surge up against Sound Barrier, as Eternal Academy cannot afford to lose anything.
Okay, they finally managed to get that online. Flush the shadow now. A beat's going to come through in order to save or attempt to save Spectral, but they trade 1 for 1. And a beat coming through now from Eternal Academy to save them in this last fight. There's still a couple of members from AT contesting as Erky actually sends out the rally. A Transcendence is even invested from Eternal to make sure they can stay on this point. Self-destruct launched over the point, however, no one has been affected by it just yet, and the rest of Angry Titans are just going to retreat back to spawn as they actually change up to the solid 3-3.
It was a huge investment, Jaws, but it had to be. Eternal Academy on the cusp of losing the entire map in that fight. It's Spectral moved over now from the McCree, now going to be going on that Xayah, Loltish abandoning the Winston to go on to the mirror matchup, Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. And you're going to need this consistent shielding, because Superblick is ready to lay down the fattest shadow you've ever seen. He wants to lay down Angry Titans and put Eternal Academy in a position to win Oasis. It may all come down to this next fight, and the only ultimate that's readily available right now is the Earth Shatter. Aafox now has the Coalescence. He can try and pressure out this Reinhardt.
There's the Coalescence onto Superblick. The Shadow from the back line gets completely blocked. He goes for the risky pin, manages to get a meal, but at what cost? He already goes extremely low, receives the armor pack to try and stay alive, but he's just getting booped around. Meanwhile, though, Kenzie is just turning everybody in the backline to mincemeat. Lolsish is dead. Erky also died, and a Graviton Surge gets thrown out. Another one from Spectral, but it's all over. Eternal Academy have managed to wipe AT. DPS comp, what? Your McCree, nothing, Spectral. Kenzie's got the Xayah. They managed to take City Center and Oasis.
And Superblick just getting so much value out of these charges. Someone needs to recruit him for Guangzhou right now, because not only did he get the pin onto Emil there, he also knocked back Lolsish into the midst of his own team. So he was like cosplaying as Velucio as he went. And then after that, he also went back and pinned Emil again. That's another 300 damage, and that's so crucial for generating those Earth Shatters at a phenomenal rate to be able to deliver that burst damage. And not only that, when you deliver that 300 damage, that means that D.Va is going to require a lot of resources to get that health back. That's resources that cannot be allocated to your own Reinhardt, and Lost just got overwhelmed.
Also, no one was checking Kenzie in the sidelines. He just kind of walked up to the D.Va, was like, oh, hey, how you doing? A couple of right clicks, and they're able to just take them out rather easily. That Coalescence, as soon as that runs out, you know you have the pressure advantage as well in terms of the Zenyatta. Discord Orb on the main tank. You can throw a few orbs as well onto a shield to pressure that out. They ended up turning it around. Kenzie got a fast grab, instant win. Oasis will go over to Eternal Academy. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. We'll be back with Kings Row. Hey guys, welcome back. Kings Row coming up very soon. Angry Titans versus Eternal Academy. Eternal Academy, we mentioned at the very start of this series that they need to find map wins. They need to find a series win in order to make sure they don't go down to trials, because they are currently sitting at 1-4 in the standings against Shoes Money Crew, taking Oasis 2-1. Hey, that's a good start.
That's also a map score in your pocket, one more further away from Shoes Money Crew. They're currently sitting in that precarious 6th spot, and if you're in the top 6, you get to go to playoffs, but if you're not, Jaws, going down. You're getting relegated to Contenders Trials. You're going to fight your way back in for Season 2. But right now, we're talking about people who have to fight their way back in. Angry Titans have to fight their way back into this series, being dealt a right hook here by Eternal Academy, being knocked off balance, but potentially we can get it back in the most classic of all maps in Overwatch.
Yeah, everybody loves Kings Row. I can't name a single player ever, really, that despises Kings Row. Rather classical map, going right the way back to the start of Overwatch, even in the beta as well, of course. And Eternal Academy were off to a good start, yeah, I was going to say yesterday, but it was actually last week against British Hurricane. It was kind of their redemption, their turnaround. Handed 2 maps away from British Hurricane.
Also able to actually them to the brink.
Yeah, managed to clamber their way back in the standings. And British Hurricane, they did end up winning, but it was a bit of a redemption day. I mean, you kind of needed to pop off at that point because we are over halfway. Playoffs is just around the corner. And if you're not getting your wins in now, like when are you actually going to get them as wins? And actually, maybe that's because they have Giganti to actually scrim against now. They've also got Hurricane, of course, because they've already faced those 2 teams. Yes, you lost, but hey, you can have the perfect scrim partners going later down the line.
Also got Morning Stars. They had a very difficult start of the schedule, going up against Giganti, and then Morning Stars was quite a brutal introduction to Contenders Europe, at least as we knew it. Right now, Morning Stars could be running in some trouble, of course, having lost out against 1 point, not looking quite as strong as they once did. Season 3, they went 5-0 in group stages, Jaws, only to fall over in the playoffs. When it comes to falling over, right now, Angry Titans going to be doing the opposite of that, going to be attacking towards first point. It's going to be the usual, Jaws, standard fare, 3-3 versus 3-3s, and Yada's on the field right now. Spectrum getting a huge amount of value out of both those bubbles, only sitting at 60. But we'll be able to, of course, top up that energy in coming engagements.
She gets battered around. I like when Zai gets hit by a right click, she kind of like leaps up a little bit in surprise. Tries to be a little bit caught out as well. 100 energy Spectral running straight into the shield. Right clicks on Super Fluke, ends up ending his own life, unfortunately.
Turns himself into a Spectre.
Uh-oh. Lotus is going to go down as well. Angry Titans hanging their head in shame a little bit. I'm going to go back to spawn.
I'm going to need to take a breath. Oh,
that was a little bit
not exactly what I wanted to achieve with that very aggressive flank reverse. Okay, guys, I've got 100 energy. I'm going to go make a beeline for Tri-Spear. I'm going to annihilate him and just disintegrate himself. This time, Angry Titans may want to go in together. Spectral, of course, will have to rebuild that energy, and Super Fluke's ready to lay down the Shadow.
You win that team fight, you're going to have an excess of ult charge. That's what Super Fluke's got. He's got the Shadow, but gets instantly booped away. Logsish going low as Askov actually ends up falling. Super Fluke's going to need to pull the trigger fairly soon to make this team fight an EA win.
3 down.
Managed to get 3 down on the Shadow, but instantly you could see a perfect block from the Transcendence team Zenyatta to save the rest of the team. And now Super Fluke caught in no man's land. Forces Tri-Spear to use the Transcendence as well to save him in that fight to make sure they can go again.
A quick disengagement. Lolsish is already back, but so is Askov. But now Spectral is ready to lay down the Graviton Surge. If this doesn't get eaten, it's going to be very hard to answer here. Askov's still 50% away. Tri-Spear is just used.
Goes to the fake, the reload. They're going to have to do something, but they're already dead. That's self-destruct. More defensively used by Eternal Academy. Didn't do all of anything, as Angry Titans were able to just swing into the grab. No self-destruct needed on their half either, and they managed to cap the first point.
I love that disengagement there for Angry Titans. They lose out on Lolsish, and 3 of them get shadowed, but they see that Tri-Spear has to use that Transcendence in an area where they can't really aggress because they don't have the speed boost, Jaw. So they're just watching as everyone's carried away by Fat on his skates. It's like, we're under attack, we're just going to get out of here. We'll come back with Lolsish, and then there's nothing that they can do about our Graviton Surge. Speaking of nothing to be done about Graviton Surge, Fat needs to hurry up and get that last 6% of his ult charge. Kenzie ready to lay down this Graviton, and there it is.
Laser on the corner. Super Fluke's going to be able to swing in now.
Big boop.
Missed with the pin. Boop's going to in the air as well. He's 30 HP. Spectral manages to find him, and that Shadow hitting Kenzie as well. He's instantly disintegrated as A-Fox lays a couple of orbs in his face. Eternal Academy are going to end up wiping on the payload to buy a little bit more time. But what control of that fight. They saw blood in the water. They saw Super Fluke marching forward, found the boop. Additionally, the whip shot into the air, and he was gone. There was nothing left of him.
Speaking of these boops, I love that Angry Titans are now taking a little bit more care to check these attempts at charges from Superpluke, because twice on Oasis Gardens he got random pins onto Fat and onto Urki, being able to take away these supports, and of course he got so much value. Here comes a Graviton Surge from the back, potentially into the middle.
Nope, there you go. Transcendence is going to save them, but that bomb might not. Instantly detonates, but manages to survive at least just for the moment. Superpluke holding that shield strong. The bash wasn't enough for the time being as Urki ends up going down. Spectral's going to fall as well. Perfect negotiation of the self-destruct Graviton Surge combo. Superpluke earns himself a shatter at the end of that fight too. Angry Titans running a little bit on empty as they go into this next fight.
Not sure what may have happened to Lawless's charge there at any rate. Didn't get what he wanted. Wanted to remove Superpluke from that ball of grabbed enemies so that large shield was not available to absorb all of the impact from the disintegrating rays of the self-destruct. Angry Titans now have to try and make do with only 2 support ultimates. They may not want to invest anything here, Jaws. They're not in a great position in terms of these offensive powerhouses. And they're... Oh, that's a big
shadow was big. Beast's going to come through as well. Lolsish instantly dead. Spectral is going to follow him as well. There was a rally going off from Urki. He was like, we can win the fight, no worries. I blocked the shadow, but the rest of the team behind him weren't so lucky. One fight, well, 1-0 wonder almost for Eternal. They did use the sound barrier, of course, but they got that combo coming online now. Self-destruct, Graviton Surge.
Oh, they found A-Fox. He was hiding out in the stairwell.
What are you doing?
Get back under the stairs, Harry.
A-Fox,
you're not going to Hogwarts.
They got 2 minutes to go. Okay, well, that's actually rather relevant. I only just clocked that in my head. We're in London as well.
We are in London.
My goodness.
Although the Dursleys did live on Privet Drive.
Which is where? In London?
I'm not sure. I think it's in some kind of suburb.
Oh.
Doesn't really matter. Askoff, I don't think you need to use that sound barrier right there.
Hey, I'm just
Angry
asking.
Titans now are ready to bring out, of course, the Transcendence. Soon it will be available to Tri-Spear as well. The Transcendence won't do much against the burst damage that is available with the combination, however. Lolsish may want to try and lay them down with the Earth Shatter. Still, it's not a great look here for Angry Titans.
Lolsish trying to set himself up for a shatter on the back line. He's going to have to back off. Shield health rather low. Test do no formation for Eternal Academy to try and survive the incoming damage. Graviton Surge thrown out as well by them. However, that bomb is not going to connect as Shield's in the way. And still, Superpluke willing to fight. Of course, Fat has been gone for quite some time now, so does mean Angry Titans are going to have to back off. Eternal Academy continuing to hold on this corner. And 18 now down to only just a minute.
Advantage here for Superpluke, potentially can get a lot of damage onto the enemy shield as they approach through that narrow choke point. And now it's going to be a battle of 2 slams, Jaws. The earth will quake under these 2, but who will come out on top?
Uh-oh, Superpluke's actually in the back already. Lolsish went too far forward, but a perfect boot stops him from getting the pin. Lolsish goes down regardless as the beat fades away from AT. Fat laid it out to try and make sure his main tank survives, but it wasn't enough at all. And now only 30 seconds remains for Angry Titans to try and get back to this payload.
Shower's going to have to respawn, come back using those boosters to return rather sharpest, but it's the same story for Lolsish. Emil can try and make a miracle play happen here with his own self-destruct, but Kenzie's ready to lock down the remainder of his team with the Graviton Surge. It is going to be first Spectral going.
Grab launched in, the grab eaten by Emil. Self-destruct comes up and instantly kills Superpluke. Zeal's going to go down as well. 2 kills for Emil. Angry Titans clutching it at the very end. Managed to deliver the payload onto second and grant them some additional time.
Asked how this happened, but Superpluke, when we looked at the kill feed, we saw all of the assists right there. There was the Discord of, and crucially, there was the Breeder. That means he was the recipient of a shield bash stun, meaning he could not bring up his own shield to defend himself from that disintegrating power. As you can see, Spectral right now has a lot of energy, throwing out those mortars, wants to build up towards his next Graviton Surge. It's such an important offensive ultimate for his 3-3 composition, but he can also use that energy to break down the shield of Superpluke and allow for Lolsish to get aggressive, just like he is right now.
He wants to get up in the face of Superpluke. However, Superpluke has got
a trick to get out.
Uh-oh, he's dead. Okay. He's got the ace up his sleeve in that shatter, or he does in a second, of course. Another minute still remains. Looks like the rest of AT are just going to reset themselves. Fat Emil and Urki joining them in the depths of the Omnic City.
Spectral actually decided not to reset himself, instead decided to fight it out with the energy that he had, allowing him to get a little bit more charge towards a Graviton Surge, but Kenzie's still going to beat him there. Getting a little bit of cleanup does mean that Graviton Surge will be available. They can go for a 3-tank ultimate combination here, which is very hard to try and mitigate if you go for the stuns into the Graviton Surge. with the Earth Shatter, and they can afford to use all three potentially because Angry Titans have only got 23 seconds left. This could be one fight territory, Jaws, and overtime will ensue if they even do win this.
Spectral just got his grab online though, you've got to be careful. Emil's going to have to go for a biggie if they want to win this one. A Graviton Surge gets launched out, a Shatter as well from Superluke to stop the incoming damage, and another Shatter, but a grab. Superior one from Eternal Academy, it's going to get thrown in. Chow with the bomb. They at least find one in Urki getting pinned. A beat from Fat at the end to try and push them forward, but Eternal Academy have the numbers. Emil gets rounded about on and killed off in the end. Supluke's also going to fall, but the spawn advantage is still on the side of Eternal Academy.
Emil was caught there in a corridor, could not get out, could not reset, could not survive.
It's all done. Urki's going to come back on the Wrecking Ball, but it's not enough. Angry Titans are going to get held just before the third point. Eternal Academy putting up a heck of a fight in the last couple of stages. I mean, it was really down to support ult at the end of it all. You saw Tri-Spear using that Transcendence right at the end. How can you deal with all that healing if you don't have someone like an Ana? Lolsish was dead, and there was nothing really they could do from there.
It was so interesting to see how Emil ended up on his own in that small health pack room. I've got to assume that Zeal controlled him by catching out while using his boosters with a shield bash to cancel that momentum, and then using a whip shot to catch him in that corner area. They actually body blocked him inside so they could destroy the mech, and then Emil had to use his self-destruct to try and stay in the fight. But because he was caught in that small corridor and people could easily peek in, he just got destroyed by mortars, could not remech. 150 HP does not last too long against a Zarya mid-fight, because you know in 3-3, there's always going to be a Zarya with 100 charge somewhere, just trying to beam down your supports or your Reinhardt shield at any rate. But now, Eternal Academy find themselves with a perfect win condition, Jaws. 2 points to take, and then 52.64 meters will claim the match point here in our set. But Angry Titans, of course, if they can defend at any point before that, they will draw up as we go into half-time.
Same affair, I could imagine, for AT. Yep, okay. It's running the 3-3. No problems whatsoever. And Lolsish against Superluke, I said at the start, like, it's a little bit of revenge for him. He wants to find revenge on Superluke and go, hey, I know you won Season 2. We were very close, and of course they were very close again in Season 3 of 2018. Angry Titans sitting at almost the perfect score, still haven't lost a series. This could be a Eternal Academy, though, throwing them a little bit of a curveball.
Yeah, statements to be made, and of course Eternal Academy hadn't always been together for that long prior to this season, and it could be a testament to the coaching ability of Swoosh, who picked up the last Contender season, working with Giganti sort of in secret for a couple of weeks to turn them into an even greater powerhouse than they were previously. Maybe Eternal Academy could also bear fruit from his coaching prowess. We'll have to see, though. Right now, Eternal Academy going to make their way onto a point rather slowly. Spectral's going to eat up a little bit of damage, gain that charge, and here comes a counter-attack from the Titans.
There's a lot of damage actually on Superluke there. I mean, he was actually holding off to the sidelines, just getting a lot of those fusion cannon and the micro missiles damage down into the backs of the tanks who have to face towards Angry Titans in that corner. Zeal ends up getting picked off first, as Spectral did manage to launch a right click around the shield, taking her out rather easily.
I like how Emil sort of played out of sight, out of mind in the back corner of the point, making sure the tick never came through for Eternal Academy, even if they did force for disengages from Angry Titans. A couple of potluck shots here from Spectral, trying to get that grab charge with some highly arced mortars. Will be now rounded upon, though. Look at all that damage. Speed
boost has to be committed there by Askoff to try and catch out Spectral. Same thing's going to happen actually on the side of AT. They use the Transcendence to find the pick onto Zeal again. Maybe he's approaching this at a bit of an on angle. It's the second time in a row he's been picked off. Maybe that's the weak link that Angry Titans have found. Eternal Academy, though, happy to back off once they see that Transcendence use. They know they have the advantage now for Tri-Spear, and also Kenzie can lay down that ultimate, and they're going to have to rely on Fat to try and make something happen here. But they can try and catch out Fat when he casts that sound barrier. There's the grab. Very early grab from Kenzie. They're going to be able to swing in as the grab gets sent out as well by Spectral, but it gets eaten all up by Chow. A Transcendence from Tri-Spear. This is what we wanted to see, healing up the rest of his team as they do put themselves on the point. A shadow straight into Urki's shield as a rally also comes out. Angry Titans way more hardy now than Eternal Academy, who are actually deciding to back off. Chow managed to get the perfect play, eating the grab, but they still don't manage to get anything but a tick. Askoff once again has the advantage as it comes to the support ultimate. Sound barrier ready to go, and Aafox still 35 scant percent away from that Transcendence. Into the air goes a self-destruct. Lolsish got the Shatter as well. Spectre ends up killing himself once more, but that Shatter hitting 4 people in the back. An instant beat, though, to make sure the rest of the team has survived. Askoff finds the melee kill on Lolsish, so that pin doesn't actually go through and connect a wall. Finally, Eternal Academy managed to break first. A team kill is bound, and they managed to get the point moving. Great kill there
from Ascot as well. A lot of people may not realize it, but LOWCish was actually going for a long charge, so it would give more time for that sound barrier to elapse before he impacted into the wall and could get the burst damage to kill him. So that was a great play there from Ascot. Did actually save his Zenyatta despite all of that additional HP that was being gifted by the soundbar. Angry Titans now will have to rely on Spectral with the Graviton Surge to try and win out this next fight. He doesn't want to get the next one eaten. Kenzie can strike first, however, Graviton Surge is ready, and so is the Slam.
Luke's moving forward. Maybe he doesn't need to use it now. Self-destruct as well onto Chow. Oh my goodness. Defensive, yes, but it bought some loads of space to make sure they can kill off LOWCish. They're still going to fight it as the Transcendence from tries to be used aggressively once more. Angry Titans are going to find this fight. The perfect positioning from Eternal Academy once again. Chow self-destructs. They might not be getting kills, Harry. And they do look the flashiest, of course, when 6K comes out, but they are separating AT with them.
Sad time there for Emil, standing inside the bookshop, saw Aoki on the floor, knew his defense metrics would not save him for long, had to speed over towards a payload. Guess I'll die here, guys. 3 minutes left on the clock. It's looking pretty good right now for Eternal Academy. Don't have any ultimates in the bank apart from Zeal, about to get that rally available, but Angry Talon's also running dry. Almost for Soundbarrier ready to go, but could be used to try and answer any aggression coming in here from Eternal Academy as they start to round this last corner towards the end of this first stage. This is one of the greatest defensive spots in the game because the attacker's spawn is so far away compared to yours. Viscera Titans need to make their stand. They need to put down their shield. They can't allow for a C9.
I heard your heartbeat, her heart jump, and so did mine. Spectral and Superluke end up trading as a beat comes through from AT. An extra rally comes out, but Emil ends up eating another grab. A detrimental play for Eternal Academy, throwing that right into the mech of Emil. And now Eternal Academy are going to have to find something. LOWCish gets rounded on yet again. They surround him and take him out. And now Eternal, they don't need to worry about a shield. Kenzie is 100% charged, just turning everybody into dust.
Communication there broke down for Angry Titans. LOWCish was on his own, but he was out of range of Avox's Transcendence. You need to get that healing delivered to your main tank. He's the main line of defense that you have, and the second that he falls, everyone's just going to be broken down by Kenzie with all of this energy. He's going to get that, yeah, there it is, the catch on the Fire Strike with, of course, the barrier does bring him up to 100 energy. Spectral can open up the next fight, but they may have to win this one. If they do not win here, it could be that Eternal Academy go into our half-time 2-0.
LOWCish going low. Hiding behind the payload, using it for cover. He's got the Discord orb on him, though, and
he's losing
very
the shield
low
fight.
Shield health. You have to back off for the time being. A Transcendence to match the Graviton Surge getting thrown out. Both self-destruct launched into the air as well. Avox ends up falling and a massive shatter. Herculean as Eternal Academy lay down the beat also. Redemption Week was last week, Harry. This week, Eternal Academy deciding they're just gonna not care about your main line. They're not gonna care about your front line. LOWCish, get out of the game. Eternal Academy are here. 2-0 in the series. Match point as well now.
You think your Titans? Well, Superpluke, he's Zeus, and he's just slain so many of them. 5 on the floor, rippling over them. The tidal wave of Eternal Academy looking so good as we head into our half-time. I don't think anyone could have expected what scoreline we're currently sitting at and how Angry Titans now have to... Our current 4-0 team are looking that they need to reverse sweep if they want to get that 5-0.
It feels like LOWCish going over-aggressive. We see him take it out first up, like more often than not, or he's in a position where he just can't receive that healing. You spoke about it just on the last point where he was in a position such that an armor pack couldn't be thrown on him. I mean, a Harmony Orb is 30 HPS. It's not going to do a whole bunch against 3 people just ramming into him with thrusters and right clicks from the Zarya. There's absolutely no way you can survive that. AT now at a danger of losing their first series of Contender Season 1.
Quick look at some highlights right here. Back to Oasis. This was, of course, the closer of our 2 rounds, going all the way to 3 rounds and ending up at like 97 to 100 in favor of Eternal Academy. We saw a couple of different strategies come out, including, of course, use of a Moira with the Coalescence. That was quite good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day as well, that Coalescence does a whole lot of damage. You line everybody up. It's pretty easy to get the healing on all your team, and leveraging that was pretty nice. AT, of course, they did manage to take them to the city center. However, Spectral, yeah, he was on the McCree. It looked so good for the time being, and as soon as we saw Eternal Academy switch over to 3-3, they targeted Spectral down. We know you haven't got the backup that your Reinhardt needs. You got a McCree. He's got 1 flashbang. He can fan the hammer you, but it's nothing against the healing we can output.
Well, I talked about Swoosh as a coach earlier when we were looking at the preamble for Kings Row, and now I've got to talk about the coaching staff for Angry Titans, because when it comes to reverse sweep straws, it is all about mentality. You can't allow yourself to be broken at the halftime and feel that things are hopeless, and it's going to come down to head coach Optidox for Angry Titans to rally his troops in the team house in Germany. Going to have to figure out how they're going to get themselves back together, how they're going to exploit any weaknesses that may well have been noticed by Optidox. Watching Eternal Academy, of course, on the stream. He's a little bit behind thanks to the delay for competitive integrity's sake, but he's going to have to get those ideas together with the help of Coach Faustus, and he's going to have to figure out how we're going to get this reverse sweep to happen and how to keep ourselves in our own heads rather than let our mental tilt away.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if they have found the weakness of Eternal Academy. I can't spot too many just yet. Horizon Lunar Colony is the next map, but not before this short break. We'll see you guys in a sec.